Princess Diana's death wasn't just an accident. It was the final battle in a secret war between two royal bloodlines that had been raging for 500 years. The Tudor gene flowing through Diana Spencer blood made her the natural enemy of the Windsor dynasty. This blood feud, which began when Anne Boleyn's head was severed in 1536, had finally ended with Diana. But why had the Spencer family guarded the secret so fiercely? What happened when Diana discovered the truth? And did this Tudor heritage also flow through William and Harry? The discovery that would change everything we knew about Princess Diana began in the dusty archives of Althorp House in January 20. Catherine Montague, a specialist in ancient documents, had been hired by the Spencer family to catalog their historical collection when she stumbled upon a leather-bound chest that hadn't been opened in over a century. Inside the chest were documents that would shake the foundations of British royal history. Handwritten letters, genealogical charts, and sworn testimonies dating back to 1536 told a story that the Spencer family had kept hidden for nearly 500 years. The first document Catherine examined was a letter dated September 15, 1536, just months after Anne Boleyn's execution. It was written by Sir William Carey, Anne Boleyn's secret lover, and addressed to his trusted friend Sir John Spencer, Diana's direct ancestor. My dear John, the letter began, what I am about to tell you must remain buried until the Tudor line is safe to return. Anne bore me a son in secret 3 months before her marriage to the king. The child lives, hidden away from those who would see him dead. I entrust his bloodline to your family's protection. The letter went on to detail how Anne Boleyn had given birth to a son by William Carey in early 1533, months before her wedding to King Henry VIII. This child, named Thomas Carey, had been secretly raised by the Spencer family, his true parentage hidden to protect him from Henry's wrath. But what made this discovery truly shocking was the detailed genealogical chart that accompanied the letters. This document traced Thomas Carey's bloodline directly through the Spencer family tree, ending with Princess Diana herself. Professor Eleanor Blackthorne, a leading Tudor historian at Oxford University, was called in to authenticate the document. Her analysis revealed that they were genuine 16th century manuscripts written on period-appropriate paper with ink that matched other authenticated Tudor-era documents. These documents prove that Princess Diana was not just connected to the Tudor dynasty, Professor Blackthorne explained. She was Anne Boleyn's direct descendant through a secret bloodline that had been protected by the Spencer family for centuries. But the documents revealed something even more disturbing. The Spencer family hadn't just been protecting Tudor heritage, they had been preparing for its return. Alexander Worthington, a geneticist specializing in royal bloodlines, had been secretly commissioned by the Spencer family in 1992 to conduct DNA analysis on Diana and her sons. His findings, hidden in the Spencer archives until now, confirmed what the ancient documents suggested. The genetic markers were unmistakable, Dr. Worthington revealed. Princess Diana carried DNA sequences that could only have come from Anne Boleyn's lineage. More significantly, these same markers were present in both William and Harry. The implications were staggering. If Diana was Anne Boleyn's descendant, then William and Harry carried the true Tudor bloodline, a bloodline that legally and historically had a stronger claim to the English throne than in the Windsor dynasty. Lord Henry Spencer Churchill, the Spencer family's longtime historian and keeper of their secrets, finally came forward to explain the centuries-old conspiracy his family had maintained. We have been guardians of the Tudor restoration for almost 500 years, Lord Henry replied. Every generation of Spencers has known the truth about our bloodline, and every generation has prepared for the day when the Tudor dynasty could safely return to power. According to Lord Henry, the Spencer family had been systematically placing themselves in positions of influence throughout British history, waiting for the right moment to reveal their secret and reclaim their rightful place on the throne. Diana's marriage to Prince Charles hadn't been a romantic fairy tale. It had been the culmination of a centuries-long plan to merge the hidden Tudor bloodline with the current royal family, positioning Diana's children as the rightful heirs to both dynasties. But the plan had a fatal flaw. The Windsor family had discovered the truth. James Beaumont, who had served as the Spencer family's private librarian for over 30 years, revealed that Diana had learned about her Tudor heritage in 1993. just as her marriage to Charles was falling apart. Lady Diana was researching her family history for a private project when she discovered the locked chest, James explained. When she realized what the documents meant, she was both thrilled and terrified. She understood that her sons weren't just princes, they were the true heirs to the English throne. Diana's reaction to discovering her Tudor heritage explained many of the changes in her behavior during the night. Her increased confidence, her willingness to challenge royal protocol, and her determination to raise William and Harry differently, all made sense in the context of her newfound knowledge about their true royal status. Margaret Ashworth, a renowned expert on Anne Boleyn, analyzed Diana's behavior in her final years and found striking parallels to her Tudor ancestor. Like Anne Boleyn, Diana became increasingly bold in challenging the establishment once she understood her true power. Dr. Ashworth observed. Both women used their positions to promote religious tolerance, both championed the common people, and both posed existential threats to the existing power structure. But Diana's newfound knowledge had put her in mortal danger. The Windsor dynasty, already threatened by Diana's popularity and independence, now faced the possibility that she might reveal the truth about her son's superior claim to the throne. Catherine Montagu's analysis of the Spencer documents revealed that Diana had been secretly meeting with constitutional lawyers and historians throughout 1996, exploring the legal implications of her Tudor bloodline. One document in Diana's own handwriting and dated March 1997 showed that she had been preparing to go public with her heritage. The boys deserve to know their true history. William especially needs to understand that he carries the blood of England's greatest dynasty. The people have a right to know that the Tudor line never actually ended. Inspector Victoria Sterling, who had been investigating connections between Diana's death and various conspiracy theories, discovered that Diana's Tudor research had not gone unnoticed by British intelligence services. MI5 files, declassified in 2023, show that the royal family was aware of Diana's genealogical investigations. Inspector Sterling revealed. There were serious concerns at the highest levels of government about what might happen if Diana's Tudor heritage became public knowledge. The intelligence files suggested that Diana's death hadn't been the result of a paparazzi chase gone wrong, but rather a calculated elimination of a threat to the constitutional monarchy. Professor Blackthorne's research into Tudor history revealed that Diana's story was following an eerily similar pattern to Anne Boleyn's downfall. Anne Boleyn was eliminated when she became too powerful and too independent, Professor Blackthorne explained. She challenged Henry VIII's authority and threatened the stability of his reign. Diana was doing exactly the same thing to the Windsor dynasty. The parallels between the two women were striking. Both had been beloved by the common people, both had challenged royal traditions, both had sons who represented threats to the established order, and both had died under suspicious circumstances when their power became too great. But Diana had learned from Anne Boleyn's mistake. Unlike her Tudor ancestor, Diana had created an insurance policy. Lord Henry Spencer Churchill revealed that Diana had hidden copies of all the Tudor documents in multiple secure locations around the world, with instructions that they should be released if anything happened to her. Lady Diana was not naive about the danger she faced. Lord Henry explained. She knew that revealing her Tudor heritage would put both herself and her sons at risk, but she also knew that the truth couldn't be suppressed forever. The insurance policy had worked. Diana's death had delayed, but not prevented the revelation of her Tudor bloodline. The documents she had hidden were now being authenticated by historians around the world, and the implications were becoming impossible to ignore. Dr. Worthington's genetic analysis had gone even further than anyone realized. His research had identified specific DNA markers that proved not only Diana's connection to Anne Boleyn, but also her descent from other key Tudor figures. Princess Diana carried genetic material from Henry VII, the founder of the Tudor dynasty. Dr. Worthington revealed her bloodline wasn't just connected to Anne Boleyn, it represented the purest surviving Tudor genetics in existence. This meant that William and Harry didn't just have a claim to the throne equal to the Windsor dynasty, their claim was actually superior, both legally and genetically. The revelation explained why Diana had been so insistent on preparing her sons for leadership roles that went beyond traditional royal duties. She had been preparing them not just to be princes, but to be the restored Tudor monarchs. Catherine Montague discovered diary entries Diana had hidden within the Spencer archives, detailing her plans for revealing the truth about her son's heritage. In one entry dated August 1997, just days before her death, Diana wrote, "I can see now that the Windsors will never allow the truth to come out while I'm alive. They fear what William and Harry represent, the return of the dynasty that truly belongs on the throne. But I have ensured that the truth will survive me." The diary entries revealed that Diana had been in contact with documentary filmmakers, investigative journalists, and constitutional scholars, building a network of people who could tell her story if she was unable to do so herself. Sir Richard Pemberton, the official royal historian, had been secretly documenting the Windsor family's knowledge of Diana's Tudor heritage for decades. His private papers, discovered after his death in 2020, revealed the extent of the royal family's fear. The palace was terrified of Princess Diana long before her death, Sir Richard's papers revealed. It wasn't just her popularity or her independence they feared. It was the possibility that she might expose the illegitimacy of the current royal line. The papers showed that the Windsor family had known about the Spencer-Tudor connection since the 1920s, but had hoped that the secret would die with the older generation. Diana's marriage to Charles had been initially welcomed because it was seen as a way to bring the dangerous Tudor bloodline under royal control. But Diana's independence and her growing understanding of her true heritage had turned what was meant to be a solution into an existential threat to the monarchy. Inspector Sterling's investigation uncovered evidence that Diana's car crash in Paris hadn't been the tragic accident it appeared to be. The timing, just as Diana was preparing to go public with her Tudor heritage, was too convenient to be coincidental. Multiple intelligence agencies were tracking Diana's movements in her final weeks, Inspector Sterling revealed. They knew she was planning something big, something that could destabilize the British government. Her Tudor revelation would have done exactly that. The investigation suggested that Diana's death had been orchestrated to prevent a constitutional crisis that could have ended the monarchy entirely. Ashworth's analysis of historical patterns showed that the Tudor-Windsor conflict represented one of the longest-running dynastic disputes in European history. What we're looking at is a 500-year chess match between two royal bloodlines, Dr. Ashworth explained. The Tudors were never actually defeated, they were just driven underground. Diana's story represents their attempt to return to power. The game had been played across centuries, with each side maneuvering for advantage while keeping the true stakes hidden from public view. James Beaumont revealed that the Spencer family had been keeping detailed records of every generation's role in protecting the Tudor secret. These records showed how Spencers had influenced British politics, military affairs, and social developments for centuries, all while working toward the eventual restoration of their rightful dynasty. "We weren't just preserving history," James explained. "We were actively shaping it, positioning ourselves for the moment when the Tudor bloodline could safely return to prominence." Diana's generation had been meant to be the culmination of this centuries-long plan. Her marriage to Charles, her son's births, and her growing influence were all steps toward the Tudor restoration that the Spencer family had been planning for 500 years. But the plan had been discovered too soon, and Diana had paid the ultimate price for her family's ambition. Lord Henry's final revelation was perhaps the most shocking of all. The Spencer family's preparations for Tudor restoration hadn't ended with Diana's death. William and Harry still carry the Tudor bloodline, Lord Henry revealed. They are still the rightful heirs to the English throne, and that truth cannot be eliminated by killing their mother. The Spencer family's duty to protect and promote the Tudor dynasty continues. This meant that the 500-year conflict between the Tudor and Windsor bloodlines was far from over. Diana's sons unknowingly were still at the center of a dynastic struggle that had cost their mother her life. The revelation of Diana's Tudor heritage had transformed her from a tragic princess into a martyr for a cause she might not have fully understood. Her death hadn't been the random result of paparazzi excess. It had been the latest casualty in England's oldest and most dangerous royal war. Professor Blackthorne's final analysis placed Diana's story in its proper historical context. Princess Diana was the last great Tudor queen, Professor Blackthorne concluded. Like Anne Boleyn before her, she was eliminated when her power and her bloodline became too threatening to the established order. But also, like Anne Boleyn, her death ensured that her children would carry forward the dynasty that others tried to destroy. The documents discovered at Althorp House had revealed that Diana's tragic fate hadn't been the result of her individual choices or circumstances. It had been predetermined by her Tudor bloodline, a heritage that made her simultaneously the most important and most dangerous woman of her generation. The Spencer family's 500-year secret was finally exposed, but the implications were still unfolding. William and Harry remained unaware of their true heritage, but the world now knew that they carried the blood of England's most legendary dynasty. Diana's hidden Tudor heritage had explained not only her extraordinary life, but also her tragic death. She had been the latest casualty in a royal war that began with Anne Boleyn's execution and continued to claim lives centuries later. The woman the world had mourned as the people's princess had actually been something far more significant, the Tudor queen who had been denied her throne by a dynasty that had usurped her family's rightful place in history. In death, Diana had finally achieved what her family had been working toward for 5 centuries. The truth about the Tudor bloodline was revealed, and the world could finally see that the most beloved member of the modern royal family had been, in fact, its only legitimate monarch. The dark secret hidden in Princess Diana's bloodline had been exposed, and with it the realization that her tragic fate had been written in the stars, or rather in the DNA, 500 years before she was born.